Hello, everyone, and welcome to Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. Tonight is going to be a very informative podcast. We're going to talk about how we feel on Sunday nights, but it could be a problem. But the beautiful thing about this podcast is that we always have solutions. But before we get into that, I'm going to play this intro.
This for the queens, sisters manifesting their dreams. Get your cream by any means and beam with self-esteem. Beauty supreme and Buddha walk so mean. The way you fit in them jeans, you eat your cornbread and greens. Dance or a doctor, red wine or vodka. Redesign your spot and redefine your mantra. Retwist your locks and realign your chakras. Doing your squats and getting closer to God, huh? Brunching with your squad or taking a girl's trip. Adjust your crown, you God's gift to the world, sis. Celestial body, drink your water. Meditate, sun-kissed goddess, heavenly order. Levitate, tribe of Ashanti, black girl magic, melanin popping, whether you ratchet or lavish, whether you bougie or savage, you a gift and a treasure. You got to love a black girl getting a shift together. Black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, man. These black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, dog.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. Again, this is going to be a very triggering yet informative podcast. So before we get started, make sure please like, share, comment on this video, as well as if it's a replay, let me know in the comment section if it's a replay, and let me know what you think about everything. This was informative, but it actually answered a lot of my questions. But we're going to bring the professional on who knows about all of this. I'm going to bring the lovely show favorite and absolutely my favorite, LaDana.
Woo! It's always so fun to be on here with you, Ursula. We have such a good time. We have such a good time together.
We do. And it's, you know why? I think because, well, one, you were very easy to talk to. I mean, look how we were just talking before this show.
I know.
But it's like you just know a lot right here. So I always learn a lot when I talk to you. But I really enjoy your delivery. That was what really feeds me. And I'm very happy anytime you say yes, you're gonna come.
I know. I'm always happy to be here because it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
It's a movement. So before we get into our talk, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. One has to go. All right. And you can tell everybody, because remember, this is audio. Tell everybody what you see on the screen.
Bacon.
Oh, that's it? Okay. So.
Oh, yeah, just one. Just one has to go. And yeah.
Tell everybody your options since this is an audio.
Okay, so there's sushi, there's nachos, McDonald's fries, and bacon. And I know y'all are probably like, what? But I live for nachos. I love sushis, and nothing comforts me more than McDonald's fries. So bacon is out.
I'm with you on that one. All right. One must go. Can you read what you see?
So we have donuts, ice cream, popcorn, and potato chips. And although I'm a sweet tooth, I'm not really a donuts fan. So donuts are out of here. Ice cream is my weakness. I probably use ice cream examples more than anything else. Popcorn and potato chips. That sounds like the best combination for me. Just each of those three and a movie, and I'm solid.
Wow. Okay. You have that all the way together. All right. Here's our last one. Almost our last one.
Okay. So we have cookies. We have cereal. I think that's candies and potato chips.
Yes, ma'am.
So from this list, all right, this one's tricky. I think I would take away cookies because I could legitimately live without cookies. I know. Don't at me. What? It came down to like cookies or candy. If I had to choose between those two, I would probably choose candy instead. And I have cereal every day. If you ever spoke to my husband, he's like, I've never seen someone so addicted to cereal. It's ridiculous.
Okay, I'll give you a pass. All right, here's our
Okay.
last one. One has to go in all of his work.
All his work. Oh my goodness, this is not fair. Okay. So we have Denzel, Morgan Freeman, Sam, Eddie Murphy, Will, and Lawrence Fishburne. Oh
Hmm.
my, oh my gosh, this is impossible.
That's why I picked this one.
I would say Lawrence Fishburne
Mm.
because I know more films with the others than I do. And how can we ever get rid of Morgan Freeman? It's like getting rid of Mandela. Like the principal from like we can't. It's
Exactly.
impossible. We can't. And I think I've loved Samuel Jackson's later works where he's more comedic than the ones where he's more action oriented. So I've cultivated a new appreciation for him. So I wouldn't really get rid of him. It's down to Lawrence Fishburne. I'm so sorry, Lawrence. I'm so sorry.
I'll contact him and let him know.
Please.
I'll let him know.
I appreciate him.
So tonight we are going to talk about Sunday night scaries. And I found out that there was actually a term for it called Sunday night syndrome.
Hmm.
I had
Hmm.
no idea. So, I always go through your Instagram, and this is what inspired the topic. So, this will be the problem, but then we'll end with the solution.
That's right. We don't stir the pot without giving a delicious meal at the
Exactly. You
end.
said that before on another one of our streams. So I looked at some research. This study showed that they they interviewed 1,000 people and how they felt on Sunday night or the night before they or after their weekend,
Hmm.
looking forward towards their work week, and 80% of them experience the Sunday night scaries or syndrome.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure if we were to poll everyone on tonight, you'd probably get something similar. Like,
Exactly.
I don't know about you, but this used to happen to me. And sometimes it still happens to me every now and again. I kind of have to pull back for some of these tools. Um, Once like Saturday afternoon starts rolling in, I know they say Sunday night, but for me, it would start from Saturday afternoon where I'm like, oh my goodness, the minute Saturday afternoon is done, then it's like Sunday. And the minute Saturday afternoon is done, it legitimately feels like it's Monday. And I used to literally be like, oh my gosh, we're having to go back to work. You can barely even enjoy Sunday because you're just like watching the clock and seeing how much closer it's getting to Monday.
Wow.
So, what I love about that survey is I think and correct me if I'm wrong, share in the chat what, kind of what's coming up for you. But I think what I love about that survey is that it made me feel, and I'm sure it made other people feel not alone. Like something isn't wrong with you because you feel that way. And that quite a bit of our population has that feeling, towards Monday. Ooh. I lost your audio. Are you still hearing me?
About now. Can you hear me now?
Nice. Yes.
Good. I understand what you mean. For decades, I experienced that, and I did not know that it was anxiety this entire time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So mine, my Saturdays were fine, but it would creep up. Like it would tap me on my shoulder, like, hey,
Yes.
Sunday's
It's
coming.
coming. It's coming.
But I was on such a what is it, YOLO, like you only live once.
Yes.
I would kill it on set, whatever that looked like. Yes. because I just knew after that it was the countdown. So
Yeah.
then after it was tapping me on my shoulder, I was fine Sunday, but then it started shaking me on the shoulder.
Mhm.
And then between 7 o'clock, so I remember 60 minutes used to come on, and I would literally,
That would be it. You're done.
oh, it was horrible. And so upon this research, the study showed that most people start to feel the Sunday night scaries on Sundays between 5 and 7,
Hmm.
and or it would be earlier in the day or even on Saturday. And you just proved
Hmm.
it right there.
Hmm. Hmm. And it's because, I mean, I use this example. I was working with a student yesterday and building out their schedule to help them with managing time. And I use this example because when I think about those times are like flagpost times, right? You think 5 to 7, that's like dinner time normally, or like 60 minutes if like you watch news, right? Those
Right.
are like set periods in the day where basically your schedule is revolving around this event, but it's also terminating parts of your day, right? Like how breakfast terminates the night. So we now know the day has begun. And lunch terminates the morning. We're heading into the afternoon. And dinner terminates the day. We're heading into the next day, which is why I feel probably more people, which I'm sure it showed in that survey, experience it within that 5 to 7 period, because it's like the day is now coming to an end officially.
Yes.
And if it's,
Yes. The official part. The weekend
yes,
is officially finished.
it's officially done. That's it.
Not good. So I'm going to read a few sentences,
Mhm.
and you all in the chat, let me know how you feel on Sunday nights or whenever you experience your Sunday night syndrome and you start having feelings of overwhelm, sadness,
Mhm.
stressful thoughts, trouble sleeping, dread. So,
Mhm.
does that sound familiar to you?
That sounds very familiar to me. I'd love to hear what everyone says in the comments. And it's okay. We are safe here. We all experience that. So don't, it's okay. You can trust us with those feelings. We receive them because we felt them, right? And
Exactly.
so when you think about that, right, the things you just pointed out, dread, frustration, anxiety, worry, overwhelm, and these are the feelings that you're carrying into the start of your week.
See, every time you come on, I get so triggered because you hit those pain points and it's the truth.
That's how you're starting your week. So when you're showing, so when you, before you even get to work, that's why traffic is so frustrating. Your kids are so frustrating. Breakfast is so frustrating. Finding the right outfit is so frustrating. Your coworker just saying the wrong thing as you enter is so frustrating. Your boss sending you an email to look up on something is so frustrating. You've already started Monday from 5 o'clock Sunday at a heightened stress level.
When you put it like that, you think, oh man, I just put it in perspective. I had a full week at work, 5 days a week. Saturday, I'm kicking it, I'm having fun. And then Sunday. So literally, that's in that entire 7 day week, that's only a day and a half of relaxation.
Yeah.
That's not good. And then we wonder why we have high blood pressure,
Hmm.
anxiety, depression,
Strained relationships.
strained relationships. Yes, that. Ooh, see, now I'm thinking about the times I would.
Like, how am I snapping so early in the morning? This don't make no sense.
Right. I'm gonna have a transparent moment.
Hmm.
I figured since you said it definitely is a safe space,
Mm-hmm.
one of the number one reasons, but I did not want to admit it, is that every time about that 5 to 7 o'clock block, I realized that I had a dead end job.
Sis, I feel like everyone on your chat probably felt seen right now.
That's the first time I ever said that out loud. With
That's what's happening every Sunday. It's the reminder of going to a place that you're either not passionate about,
hmm
that you're frustrated with, where
hmm
you don't feel valued, where you're
Yes.
not living up to your potential. And so over the weekend, you get all that dopamine rushing through your veins
Mm.
because, right, you're happy chemicals. That's the happy juice. That's the reward juice. That's the achievement juice that pumps out every time we do something that reminds us that we're valuable, that reminds us that we can be successful, that we can be happy, and we take it for granted. Those weekend interactions are the points in time where we get to see I'm actually pretty awesome. Like, even if the week was the worst and your boss is the worst
The
and
worst.
everything around is the worst, Friday to Sunday at 5 o'clock, you get to be reminded of all the things that make you feel incredible.
Mm.
And then Sunday, 5 o'clock, when all of that is now out of the picture and you're now reminded of where you're going to go next, often that is the hardest part of what we don't want to face, or what we face but don't have the ability to change.
Wow. The ability to change. That is so true. Wow. I love what you said about the job being the worst, the boss being the worst. And it felt like no escape. Like
Hmm.
you truly are in an escape room and you are not
Hmm.
going to find that key to get out at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. It feels
And
like
then
there's
you
no key.
retire.
Hmm. And even when and then you retire and you look back and say, well, what was all of it for?
Right. Exactly. I the last stream I did, I had talked about this study that I think it was in Finland. I don't remember, but it was a nurse who worked in hospice, and she did a research. I think it was over 5 years of people who were on their deathbeds, and
Hmm.
you heard about
I
that?
think it was Finland, yes, on their deathbed. I think there's a movement that she started since. Well,
Really?
maybe not her. So I'll let you finish, but there is a movement that's been started since called, oh my goodness, it's slipping me now, like at my end or end of my life or something like that. Um,
Really?
in inviting us to live our lives now. But I'll let you finish speaking about that research. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. So, but that's what she interviewed the people, and what were their thoughts, and a lot of them had regret.
Hmm.
They wish they never. I'm exaggerating, but I wish I never. I
Hmm.
wish I ate the cake. I wish I
Yeah.
took the trip. I wish
Yes.
I divorced. I wish I
I wish I bought those silver shoes when I had gone on that one trip 10 years ago that I really wanted.
exactly. It's real. So you're right. If you imagine a lifetime of that, and while we're still young, we can do things about it, but I get it. Sometimes you don't know how. I did not know how. I
Hmm.
didn't until this age right now. Which
Hmm.
is kind of, well, which is good. That's why we're here to have these
Mm.
conversations. I'm gonna read something else. This was from BetterHelp, and it said
Mhm.
Sunday depression sometimes referred to as the Sunday blues, is the feeling of sadness, hopelessness, or dissatisfaction that many report feeling on Sundays, often in the evenings.
Mhm.
Sunday depression is not something you would be diagnosed with if you were to visit a doctor or a therapist. The condition does not exist in the DSM 5, which is a diagnostic tool for medical professionals. Despite its lack of official presence in the medical community, the phenomenon is very real.
Mhm. It is. It is. And I think, people bringing attention to that, because even when I share it on my Instagram, I'm like, this is kind of a turn because Mondays used to be a really hard thing for me. And
Really,
I
why do you say
remember
that?
Mondays were really hard for me because Mondays were really hard for me when I was in a job that I felt dissatisfied and unfulfilled,
Really?
because it was that reminder that I was not living in my potential. And the thing about it was a job I was really good at. Like, I was really good at, I did really well in, but it just didn't give that spark of life.
Yeah.
And I really I want to be mindful of, the differences in generations and cultures that exist, in that not many of us are really able, or have been given the space to cultivate the idea of working in your passion.
Mm. Ah, pain point. You just
And
you keep hitting.
it's true. When we think about, the sandwich generation, when we think about the boomer generation, and probably, just the start of the millennial generation, I'll say, um those generations had a purpose for work. Now, just hear me out. Hear me out, everybody. Don't at me. They had a fundamental purpose for work, which was to provide for their family.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end all be all of their employment. The purpose of their work was to provide for their family,
Mm-hmm.
which meant they had to have stable work that they could count on into retirement to provide for their families,
Mm.
right? So it's a very different perspective if you're engaging with someone from that generation forward versus engaging with someone from, let's say, mid millennials to where we are now, generation, I don't even know what letter we're at
I
this
don't.
point in time. I think we've started over at A, maybe we're at some new Greek or Latin letter, right? When you look at that, from the millennial generation forward, that generation paved the way. Sorry, the generation from, boomers until now, till
Mm-hmm.
that millennial, paved the way for a generation of people who could work in their passion. Why? They created enough stability employment wise to give room for creativity to rise. That's how you get things like Uber, for example,
Mm.
right? That's how you get things like DoorDash, grocery delivery. People
Right.
have been buying groceries for centuries. However, because there was room for that creativity, because that generation created such stability, we could be in school forever, all the way up until master's, doctoral degrees.
Mm-hmm.
We could become entrepreneurs. We can become YouTube and social media stars. We can build an entire successful life just with our cell phones.
How about that?
cell phone, a ring light, and a stand,
And a good Wi-Fi,
and a
good
good
hotspot.
Wi-Fi connection, and you can have a successful life.
Literally.
Literally, right? So when you look at these two generations bumping up against each other, you get to see why Monday gets to be so hard.
Mm, that is so true. You know, I'm first generation American. So my mom is in that generation. She's just glad to be in America and be duly employed.
Yes.
She doesn't have to worry about immigration bothering her.
Yeah.
She's naturalized. Ursula, just go to work. She'll just tell me that. Go to work. Just be glad you have a job. Thank God you have a job. Meanwhile,
You're
I'm
like, no.
yeah, I'm literally a walking zombie. And guess what? She was too. That's why I can't judge her. It's the same thing. Same thing. And it was just walking around like a zombie with my
Yeah.
eyes wide shut.
Yeah. Because I had one goal: feed my family, feed my family, feed my
Right.
family, put a roof over my family's, put a roof over my family, put a roof over, sorry, what was that? Put a roof over my family's head. Like, sis, okay? We trying to. Ursula understands,
I
okay?
totally understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, all right? As we talk about generations and getting things together, you enter seasons of your life where you're like, do I put my passion aside or do I get creative to make it happen? And today we're getting creative and we're making it happen. And these kids won't let you be great.
Oh my God. Your bounce back is amazing. I'm going to show this graph. Let me know, people in the chat and replay, as well as you, LaDana. Let me know how you feel with your Sunday night syndrome on this scale. So I'll read it. It says,
Okay.
how do you feel the Sunday night before your work week? And on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being, oh, the happiest, big smile emoji face, to 5, where you're shattered, you're so depleted, sad, depressed, and then you all can fill in the middle.
So I'm going to share because I know that you'll be able to see on the chat, but we want to keep the conversation flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was working in that job that was really depleting me, I legit felt like a 4 or 5. It led me to burnout,
Ooh.
which actually motivated the shift in my life.
Mm.
Um, since making that shift, I wouldn't say I'm yet at a 1, but I'm definitely between like a 1.5 and a 2. If if I just focus on the work that I'm doing, then I'm at a 1, like all the time. If I focus on the things around that work, sometimes that takes me down
Oh,
to like a 2 or 3. So,
that's a
so
good way to put it.
yeah.
Huh. So with my dead end job, it
Hmm.
was a 5. I was on the other end of the spectrum. And if there was a
Hmm.
10 on this list, I would have been at a 10. Because dealing with the dread compounded
Hmm.
with the
Hmm.
macro aggressions that were going on,
Hmm.
the racism, it was horrible. So now I do have a career in my passion. I love my job. My coworkers
Hmm.
are great. So you're right.
Hmm.
I I sleep good on Sundays. I don't have to take Benadryl. That's
No,
another thing. I used to have to
just
take
go to sleep
Benadryl. I couldn't go to sleep.
because your mind won't turn off.
No, it sure did not. So I will be at, like you said, like a 1.5. And the
Hmm.
only time the numbers drop is because of the work, because I'm learning. I'm in a totally different career. So it's the
Hmm.
learning curve, but not.
Hmm.
So that brings the anxiety, but not oh my God, I'm in a dead
Yeah.
end job. This is no, because this is the first time I've ever had a job in my passion. I was doing it
Yeah.
for free. Now
Yeah. See,
I can make an
this is
income with the impact.
what I'm talking about when you think of the generations, right? I remember I said, and when older friend of mine was like, "You are out of your mind," and I said, "Pay me in purpose and pay me in penny." Like I would take purpose over pennies every day. I think that's exactly what I said.
Wait, repeat that.
Purpose. I would take purpose over pennies any day. And
Ooh,
that's kind of what you were saying. You were doing that for free because that fulfilled your purpose.
it
You were living in your purpose. And when you're living and walking in your purpose, it is an entirely different world. Like it's an alternate universe here on earth.
it is. It I never experienced it. So I would suggest for people, because I've truly been on both ends of the spectrum, and you give me your perspective also, because sometimes we can't leave our jobs. We can't.
Yes,
Yeah, sometimes we just can't.
correct.
And I totally understand we're not in positions for whatever that reason is. So that's why, like LaDana said, this is a safe space. There's no judgment.
Yeah.
However, I strongly always would suggest for people to, if you don't know your passion, to volunteer. It will spark something
Hmm.
in you, and because it is passion, you would do it for free. It's fulfilling. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I absolutely agree with you. And while a lot of the work that I do is encouraging people, and I love that recommendation because again, we feel we have to make major changes in our life sometimes to make that happen. I was
Mm-hmm.
working with a client once whose passion, whose purpose, really believed this was her purpose, was to actually branch off and do graphic design. However, to like set herself up that way, she had a job that was really burning her out. And we burning her out because she just felt unfulfilled, whereas she really wanted to pour her energy into building, this business. And in working together, which is going to come up as we speak when we talk about flipping that internal script, it's also flipping how we look at our job. And if we have the alternative for, using your example, if we are volunteering, giving our time to something that really jazz ourselves up, then we get to look at our jobs differently. So when I was working with that client, in the work that we did, got to the point to recognize her job was the means to her passion.
Mm,
So
really?
not that her job was this thing in the way of her passion, but having this job, getting the capital and the time to build her business was paving the way to that.
Nice.
So now going to work on Monday morning has a whole different feeling
Mm,
because now you remember, well, I'm coming here because I need to get the monies from here to build over here.
mm. That is so good. So, that's a great segue. So, let's go into the Monday morning motivation. And this is the seed of
Yes.
what. So, before I get into this, I want people to know what you do, the type of coach you are, so that they know this sister knows what she's talking about.
I know, right?
And
So, okay.
to prove it, I want everybody. I encourage you. I will put the links to Ladana's and I prior stream, so she comes with the fire. She knows what she's talking about. So yes, but Ladana, let everyone know what kind of coach you are.
Okay, so I am a certified positive psychology and well-being coach, which I know is a really big term, but we'll generalize it. So I'm a board certified mental health coach. I'm also certified in positive and well-being coaching, applied neuroscience, as well as resilience. So that's really the meat of the work I pull on, and you'll hear me talk about the brain a lot when we're together. I pull on all of those tools to help you basically distract obstacles that get in the way one of the ones I spend the majority of my time working with clients is procrastination,
Woo!
because we're out here using that as an excuse to do things we need to do. So I really help you disrupt procrastination so you can actually take action the things that you want to achieve in your life, because it's possible. We just have to get to the root of it. And
Mm,
and I love this work. I love this
I
work
can
so much.
tell. And
It
I love that
really
you do this work for
it
real.
really jazzes me up. I was working with a student, and at the end of it they were like, "Oh my goodness, I can tell you love this. Like the fire in your eye as we're working through this." I'm like, "Yes, it is infectious."
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So how would we combat this Sunday night dread? How do we flip our internal script?
Okay. So before I share that, I came across this story once, and it was life changing for me. And I really want to share it with you.
Okay.
And it's probably a well known story, but you never know. Someone here may be hearing it for the first time.
Okay.
So during a visit to the NASA Space Center in 1962, President Kennedy noticed a janitor carrying a broom. He interrupted his tour, walked over to the man, and said, "Hi, I'm Jack Kennedy. What are you doing?" The janitor responded, "I'm helping put a man on the moon, Mr. President."
He was a janitor and
What was he doing? He was helping to put a man on the moon. And that's what I'm talking about, flipping your internal script. Because if he asked him, "What are you doing?" "I'm cleaning the floor." But what is the ultimate goal of cleaning those floors? This is your small part to play in a very big event, and it matters.
ah, I love that. May I borrow that?
You can take it, you can use it. It's not mine, but the first time I heard it, it changed my whole perspective.
So what you're saying is no matter how small the task is, putting any effort, even if it's a little bit or a lot, it helps get to the end goal.
Yes, but for you to get there, you have to know why.
Oh, wait, dig a
Why?
little deeper on that
Of
with the why.
course.
Yeah,
Of course. That's what we're here to do. Why? And I know why. And that's why I gave the example of when we look at the generations before us, why did they go to a job that may have been so repetitive, to us so boring and menial? What was their bigger purpose? To feed my family and put a roof over their head. So I
right.
can deal with the hard parts. I can navigate the challenges. I can overcome that, because why am I doing this? To feed my family and to put a roof over their head.
Mm,
So I'm giving these because we can talk another day about, changing your job, finding your purpose, going your value. We can come back and work on that. But I want us to focus first on the fact that many of us don't have that ability to make that choice.
agreed. Agreed.
So I'm not going to come on here. I tell you, I'm very practical. I'm not going to come on here and frustrate you with this big goal, this big life change that you may not be able to do. But you can make a change exactly where you are right now, so
Oh,
that Monday morning stop feeling the way it does.
I love that. To where you are right now.
Right now,
That
right
goes back
now.
to the mindfulness.
Do you see how it always comes in? Right now. Where you are right now.
See, I do listen to you. You mentioned mindfulness a lot. It makes sense where you are right now.
Yeah, well, because we hear all these speeches around, and these incredible TED talks, and you know And it's like, yes, it would be so great if I could just pick up. But let's be real. A lot of these are sent from places of privilege that many of us aren't afforded.
Mm-hmm.
So why am I going to frustrate you by focusing on the fact that this job doesn't fulfill all of your passions right now? We first have to get you to a place where you can manage making it through this week, next week, the week after that. Then we can look at how we can start finding purpose, value, all of those things. When you think of, Maslow's hierarchy, food, safety, shelter, these are at the base of the pyramid. You
Right.
first have to have all of these foundational things before you can aspire to the highest of heights. So I'm not going to give you tips that are going to have you trying to reach the top of the mountain before you're solidly based on your foundation.
That makes sense because it would, for me, it would just make me a lot more frustrated
Of course.
and make me shut down, slip back
Hmm.
into depression because
Hmm.
it would seem so unattainable for me.
Correct. When I was in my job and I was really frustrated and exhausted, I still had to go back there every day and create a plan. I had to support a family.
Mhm.
I was building a goal. I had clients that we're working with, right? So it was impossible to just up and make a change. So I first had to build, just like I'm doing now. We're going to build a foundation for what you can do starting today
Mm.
to make next week, to make the Sunday coming more palatable. All right. So my first tip before we even get to the internal script, because that's the big one. Right. So
Yeah.
we're gonna start easy and we're gonna get to the big one. All right. So my first tip is you have to keep the same schedule on the weekend. Don't at me. Don't at me.
Keep the same schedule. Hold on. Me don't wake up at
Yes.
whatever your time is.
Yes. Yes. Tell me what is the hardest thing to do Monday morning after you've been hanging out till the end of the night on Sunday?
Waking up.
Waking up to that alarm.
That alarm is the
That
worst sound on this planet.
it's like if you weren't mad yesterday, you are mad right now.
Facts. So keep the same schedule.
As best as you can. Now, I'm not saying to go shut down your social life. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because the brain likes consistency, it likes predictability, right? So, when you
Mhm.
keep that same schedule, that alarm in the morning, when you've been going to bed 5 hours later than normal,
Ye- oh, yeah.
that is stressful. It's legitimately an alarm.
You're right. You are so right. Yes, you are right. I would literally, I'll tell you, it was nothing for me to go to sleep at 4 in the morning on the weekend.
And wake up fine.
I feel so seen right now.
I told you, I'm not going to give you things out of reach because I will be setting you up for frustration. That's not
Yeah.
going to help. So we're going to start small and build.
Okay.
That's one small step that you can take. How can you get as close to your regular bedtime over the weekends?
Hmm.
Your regular wake up times over the weekends, because that consistency creates a rhythm. It creates a rhythm for your sleep. Your sleep becomes consistent, which
Mm.
means your body is consistently being going through that relaxation, that rejuvenation that's supposed to happen.
Hmm.
Your brain has a predictable time of sleeping and waking, so it's less likely to be as alarmed when Monday morning comes.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I like it. I do. Because it is jarring on the psyche.
Yes, you've been going to bed at 2 o'clock Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and then
Mhm.
expecting to be awake at like 5:30 Monday morning.
Right. And in a good mood.
Your body's like, stop it, stop this.
Like,
I
no,
don't
ma'am.
want this. No, no, because over those 3 days, it learned, oh, this is the new consistency. This is the new plan.
Oh, and that's how your system stays dysregulated.
It's like, oh, new plan? And you're like, no, no, old plan? What? What are we doing? Is it, are we early morning waking now or late morning? We don't know anymore. Monday morning is chaos. The entire week is going down the drain.
Right.
Right? So that's the first. Simple. Keep the same schedule as
Okay.
close as possible. Now,
Mm,
like I said, we're not saying to shut down your social life, but be mindful,
mm,
right, of how you can maintain that. And you will begin to see it working wonders because, again, your brain likes that predictability. It
okay.
likes knowing, it loves being the expert. It likes knowing what it's doing. It likes knowing what's to come. Think about, you go to work and I bet you don't need to map it by now because your brain's like, I know where to go.
Exactly. That's true.
I know where to go. You don't need to look on, you don't need to use ways. Just
Nope.
use ways to escape, like where I already know we're going. How many times have you planned to go somewhere else, but if you drive the same route, you end up home?
Right.
Your brain's like, oh yeah, I know this route.
I got you.
I got you. It's
I
cool.
got you.
It's okay. So like that's what, when we create that consistency, then we create those pathways and your brain then makes that, you cultivate that habit that becomes a consistent behavior that becomes a lifestyle. And now your brain knows what to expect. So it's
Ah,
less alarmed because it's in a rhythm.
right. It doesn't put it into shock.
Right.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Makes
See?
sense.
See?
And that's easy. And it didn't cost
And
anything.
it didn't cost anything. Maybe an extra outing. There's always a cost. There's
I
always a
love
cost.
it.
Okay. There's always a cost. Let's never pretend, but it didn't cost you any money. You get
Right.
that tip for free.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. Next thing, right? We're going to step it up. And each of these, I'm going to be like, come on. I know. I know. I know.
Okay.
Disconnect on the weekend.
Disconnect on the weekend.
As best as you can. Now, I know some of us have to stay connected, especially with our devices and yada yada. But really try to use the weekend to do exactly what we talked about, zhuzhing up,
So do you
actually making it time off, connecting with people, engaging with things that you love, because that then creates a natural break in the week that your body needs to get rest,
Oh,
to
yeah.
go back to the job,
Like a reboot.
like a reboot.
That makes total sense. Yes, a reboot, just like whenever I do a live stream,
Yeah,
ah, my computer's been running literally all day. And so that I can get the best stream when I come on and do my podcast, I have to reboot my
that's
computer
right.
and I
That's
shut it
right.
down. And then I come back up and now I have all my Wi-Fi is strong.
hmm And what do you have? Optimal efficiency. It's
Yes.
working without baggage. It's working without the cares of what you had on it before. It's working without all of these things weighing it down. And so that's what we mean. Actually allow yourself to disconnect
I
in
like
whatever
that.
way satisfies that for you, but create that natural break to the end of the week.
Mm,
Because again, going back to our brain, it communicates to our brain the week has ended and a new week is beginning, a new opportunity. It
mm.
creates hope instead of hopelessness.
Oh, that's good right there. That's some good stuff. Hope instead of hopelessness. And we all can relate to the hopelessness. So you're right. So like
Mm,
why not sprinkle some hope
Exactly.
into the hope. I love that.
Exactly. Exactly. And when we create that natural break in the week, and like I'm Adventist, so we keep Sabbath, for example. So
Mhm.
from Friday night to Saturday evening, and it's the most satisfying, gratifying experience because I get like a full excuse to not do anything related to work, to not
Yeah.
think about it, to not worry about it. I get like a full excuse to be like, I'll pick you up Monday morning.
Right.
And like every time it tries to creep back in, I get to be like, nah, chill, boss. You on schedule for Monday morning, right? So that's like the concept to create that natural break. And this week, with all of its cares, all of its worries, all of its drama, has ended, and a new week is beginning with new opportunities, new things to do, new ways to approach, new perspective.
It sounds it's keeping boundaries within yourself.
Hmm.
Yes. Cuz I know sometimes I will peek in on the weekends at my emails when
Right?
right, I'll peek because I was like, oh, I know unless I know it's truly a big project coming up that
Hmm.
which I don't want to get into that, but it was I made that exception for myself, unless it's these huge events. But if
Hmm.
it's just something during the week, a regular work week,
Yeah.
don't do it. And I had to set that boundary for
Yeah.
myself. Yeah,
Yeah. You're out with your friends and you go and take yourself, go look at that email from your coworker that you could have checked on Monday morning. Now your whole weekend spoiled. All of that trickled over when it could have been Monday morning's problem.
wow. And you just mentioned that before we went live,
Hmm.
so it makes sense.
Yeah. See, I told you, like actual things you can reach for, not go quit your job tomorrow because that may create a bigger frustration. like
Exactly.
than like changing. I went to a workshop the other day with a Dr. Baker, and she calls it cause in the matter. So to become a cause in the matter, in the sense of when you cannot change the circumstances that you're in, you can change how you interact with those circumstances. So this is what we're doing right now. When you
Mm,
cannot change your job, when you cannot do something differently, you can change how you interact with that. You can create a better routine on the weekend so
mm,
that you feel you actually have the resources in your body and in your mind to face the week, right?
yes.
That's what's keeping that sleep routine. That's what's going to be helpful. You'll have the resources to actually face the week in your mind, in your body, with the rest.
Right.
When you disconnect on the weekend, you will again pump your body with dopamine, those feel good hormones, right?
Mm,
Those endorphins that make us feel happy. That again is restoring what we would have lost during the week,
okay. I like it.
right? Because like you get a chance to pump yourself up so that you actually have enough. You fill in your tank
Right.
so you have enough to go into the week.
And it prevents burnout.
Yes, yes. Because we can't always change our job, but we can change how we interact with it,
Mhm.
right? So try to keep the same sleep routine on the weekend. Disconnect on the weekend. And that disconnecting could be anything that you are regularly connected to during the week, right?
Okay.
So disconnect. Of course, normally we talk about technology because we literally cannot live without it anymore.
Right.
So like read a book instead of watch the film. Go outside instead of scroll social media, right?
Mm,
Like, do something different than what you've been doing the past 5, 6 days at work.
right. Now, what are your thoughts on doing whatever that disconnect is during the week?
I am always a fan for during the week. Always.
Okay.
Always a fan for during the week. But it's the weekend where we tend to struggle the most.
Okay.
But I'm always, let's make that clear. If
Mhm.
you can do this same thing, as a matter of fact, it would be beneficial to do this every day. Keep the same sleep schedule. Make time to disconnect every day, even if it's 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 minutes. Why? Your brain needs time to organize information. And it
Mm.
does that when it doesn't have more information coming to it. So
Ah,
we need to disconnect. We need silence. We need a moment. So our brain, why do you think best in the bathroom when you're taking a shower or using the facilities?
true.
Because in that moment, there is stillness, there is quiet. Your brain actually has time to organize all the things it's been receiving.
This is true.
And that's when you realize, aha, this incredible idea. Or, aha, I should have said that in the argument, right? Like, this is where all of those things come together because it finally has the time to put all the pieces together. It's,
Oh, yeah. Okay. I just light bulb
yeah,
moment. It just
yeah,
clicked right there.
yeah,
When you did this, I
yes.
pictured
I'm
the
very
Tetris.
visual.
I pictured that Tetris board just to make it fit.
That, yes.
That's
And
what was in my head.
that's what's happening in your brain. It has all these Tetris pieces just hanging around all day. And unless we get that moment where of stillness, that's why, I encourage mindful meditation. I encourage stillness. I encourage being in the present moment because
Yeah.
it allows the brain to do that, organize all the information it has been receiving.
Mm.
Remember, the brain is our powerhouse. We see with our brain, we hear with our brain, we speak with our brain, we move with our brain. Our feelings are connected, our emotions, our
Yeah.
hearts pumping. Everything is working through this little big thing in our head, right? Because when you think about all of what it does, it's really small for all of the things it does.
Absolutely.
It needs time, just like how you need time to process information, it needs time to do that too. And
Mm.
that's what creating a regular habit of disconnecting allows. It allows the brain, think about working with your brain, not against it. It allows your brain to do its job well, to organize information so you're making the best decisions possible.
I love that. While you're talking, you remind me of Dr. Caroline Leaf.
Oh, she is like, I love her like
Isn't
so
she
much.
amazing?
I stand her.
I love listening to listen. I will put my headphones on and I will go to sleep listening to her podcast. And
Yeah.
I never knew about the difference between the brain and your mind. So
Yes.
once again, as you're talking, you're right. The brain is constantly going. It does need a reset. And the way she breaks it down, ah,
Incredible.
it is.
She's who got me so excited about the brain and
Yes.
how to work with it. Ever since I read her first book, well, ever my first book introducing to her, not her first book, Switch On Your Brain, game changer.
Isn't
I
it?
like lived for that. After that, I'm like, if it didn't take so much work to go become a neuroscientist, I would have.
Right. So, because I just don't have it in me to go to school, I will listen on to her about
Right?
her neurocycles,
Right.
her 60-day
Exactly.
neurocycles. I can do that. That's attainable.
Exactly. Okay, so we have that, keep the sleep, disconnect, and now we're kind of understanding why these are important. Our bodies need sleep, our brain needs time to organize information. That's the point of disconnecting, to give it time to do that. If you can do that every day will not be as stressful as it feels. I promise you.
I
If you
love
can do that every day, your stress level will begin to go down. You know why? Because that's what your body needs for your stress level to come down. It needs an opportunity to come to rest.
it. Mm. That makes sense because physically we need our rest. I don't care who you are. You're right. Our
Yes,
brain needs rest as well, which comes into the mindfulness practices.
correct. Correct. All right. Number three,
Yes.
create a Monday morning routine ritual. Not even like routine, ritual. Like, this is something I'm looking forward to.
Hmm.
Now tell me, when you're going on a trip, right? Do you love to travel? Do you love to travel? I'm like making that assumption on you. I didn't even ask.
I do. I love
You
to
give me a travel vibe. Um,
You're correct.
right? Now when you have your trip planned, right? You are tell me how that's for you. What are you thinking about? How are you prepping? Like, what's going through your mind? Your trip is happening next week, in a
Oh,
month. What do you do?
so in a month, if I'm going a month out, I'm thinking about what I'm eating because I want to look sexy in my clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm preparing to get my hair appointments.
Mm-hmm.
I can be okay in the water. I am looking on the website on the different excursions that they have. I
Mm-hmm.
like to look at the food of what they have. I look on their website to see what the resort looks like. I plan
Mm-hmm.
out all my outfits, my shoes,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm gonna pack, how I'm going to pack it. I get my passport. I line everything
Mm-hmm.
up. I get my little bottles so that I'm in
Mm-hmm.
compliance with Delta Airlines and travel.
Mm-hmm. Best
Yeah,
airlines. Now, as you are describing it, I can see how you're feeling. How do you feel?
excited.
You're like, do I have a trip in a month? I feel like I need a trip in a month now.
I know. What do I feel like? So yes, I feel very excited because I know that feeling that prep work does make me excited. I see where you're going with this. I get it. I get it. Okay.
So
Hmm.
we got to think about, how can I make Monday more special for me? So is it that special mug? Is it a special coffee shop? Is it how I set up my station before or after I leave? Is it someone I'm looking forward to talking with? Is it something I'm looking forward to at the end of it? Create some kind of ritual, just like all of what you just shared a while ago.
Right.
And by the time you're done, you cannot wait for a month to come.
Mm. This makes sense because so many of us we wake up to that awful alarm clock and then it's
Yes.
autopilot. Jump out of bed. I'm gonna tell
Zombie,
yes.
zombie walking it, drag to the bathroom, take that shower, throw on our clothes, get mad at traffic, get on the way. Think about, how can I adjust that? How can I make Monday morning special for me? What would make that special? Is it that Starbucks coffee? Then have it on Monday morning.
Mm,
Is it a special routine? Is it an activity? Is it something that you like to eat? Is it a particular kind of outfit? Monday morning, I'm going to dress to the nine. Make something special just for Monday.
right. That's good stuff.
That way you're looking forward to it, just like that vacation. I'm looking forward to that special thing that I know happens for me, that I do for me on Monday.
And this circles back to what you talked about getting that rest. Because if you're going to bed very late, you're going
That's
to
right.
stay in bed late as possible. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
time to enjoy the rituals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you a story time really quick. Oh, go ahead. What were
Yes.
you about to say?
Oh no. So I was gonna say, the power of this, again, always going back to the brain, is you start the day with that dopamine shot.
Yes. So it's already in you. It's already activated. It's already activated as opposed to going into your dead end job where it's already deactivated. Mind blown.
You already started the day with your shine. So
Yeah.
you're no longer looking to your job to do it for you. You've already done it for yourself.
Ooh. Yes. Everything we have is from within. We have all we need. That's some
So
good
story time. I want to hear your story.
story time. I was in such a zombie like state for years going to this horrible job. I
Hmm.
literally, like you said, like how you drive around with your
Hmm.
brain, you don't have to tell your brain what to do. So what I did, so I was playing, I'm a racquetball player.
Hmm.
So that was part of my routine, but it wasn't a
Nice.
ritual. And I dragged my racquetball big bag, and I was just in autopilot, and I put it by my car, and I got in my car and I backed up. I ran over the bag. I didn't realize the bag was there because I was in such
So
a
focus.
zone, and I thought I ran over a kindergartner because my car bumped
Oh
up. Like,
no.
I was like, "What the hell was that?" And when got up and I looked, and I was like, "Wow, I had no idea." And that put me even more in a depression
Hmm.
because I cracked my racket. That was
Hmm.
$200 down the drain. It was just
Hmm.
not good.
Yeah.
But I'm saying all that is because I was in a routine and it was toxic.
Yeah. It wasn't even that you were in a routine. You were just on autopilot.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
You
autopilot.
weren't connected to the world. You were just letting the world happen. You're just passing through the world. That's
Yeah,
where that present moment awareness, kicks in to make that difference. If we're always in that present moment, then we're always exactly where we're supposed to be
mm-hmm.
every time. But we live on autopilot, and that's the kind of stuff that can happen. I'm so sorry you broke your racket.
Me too. Me too. Yeah, so
I
now
hope
I'm going to
I
work
hope you got
pissed.
it back again. I know you must be mad now. If it wasn't for this job, you wouldn't have broken your racket.
How about that? Exactly. So, what's another tip, or is this it on that
Okay,
list?
no. So we have two more, two really fast. I'm
Okay.
going to show you how you can disconnect easier with this fourth one. Prepare for Monday on Friday.
R-
I know. Like what?
Why?
Prepare for Monday on Friday. I know. When Friday comes, all you want to do is get out of there. You're like, it's Friday.
Yes.
We're done with this. What are you talking about? Why are you giving me extra work on Friday?
When I'm already burnt out.
Right?
Remember?
All right. So let's fast forward to Monday morning when you get there, and now you're scrambling to figure out all of the things that you have to do on Monday morning. Do you start with this part of the project, or the email, or the callback, or the this or the that or this or that, versus having your Monday morning ritual after having disconnected and rested, coming in Monday morning and clearly having an outline of what you need to do today,
Say that last part again.
and clearly having a breakdown of what you need to do today on Monday. Picture that world instead. You've rested on the weekend. You've disconnected and filled yourself up with all of your beautiful happy juices. You started your ritual on Monday morning with whatever that looks like. So you're already feeling good. And then you can now pull your to do and get work started.
I understand now because you're already pumped up with dopamine. And then when you come to work, you're already in an organized state. So you're not being activated, if that makes
And
sense.
you're not then stressing out trying to figure out. You're actually ready to go. You're ready to work. Because normally we're figuring out I'm going to try and catch up on all the emails or return the phone call, answer what the boss says or whatever. But on Friday, and this is something that I practice, like I actually do this every day. I prepare today for tomorrow. So when I sit down at my desk, I clearly know these are the duties for today. And naturally, other things will come in, but you're now able to organize the excess versus Betty came and asked for you to scan this, and Bobby asked for you to do this, and the end of the day comes, you didn't get anything done for yourself because you didn't really know what you were supposed to do today because you have so many things to do. So if you prep on
Mm.
Friday, you you get to disconnect over the weekend because you've already communicated to your brain, this is what's coming up for me on Monday. So I don't have to be like, oh right, yes, and make that phone call to Anne while I'm trying to have a good time Saturday night or Sunday. On Monday morning, I've already organized my to-do list at work for that day. So when I'm coming in this already relaxed, activated, pumped up, ready to go state, I can keep feeding myself with dopamine because I have that beautiful checklist where I'm very clear on what to go. I'm feeling organized and I get to start checking things off. Bam, 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 bam.
I like that a lot. So even though if it's Friday, even though it's not being in the moment, meaning the mindfulness, but it will be mindful on Monday.
Yeah, so when we talk about mindfulness, we're not saying you're only stuck in this moment because the future happens. You acknowledge the future, you focus on the present. So in that activity, I am acknowledging the future in this
Mm.
present moment.
I need
On
to write that
Monday,
down.
on Monday, this is what I have to do. Now, when we are not being mindful, I am worrying about the future. I'm worrying about all the things that I have to do. When I'm mindful, I'm acknowledging the things that are to be done. So I acknowledge on Monday, I need to call Anne. I need to finish this research. And Anne is a made up person. Let's make that clear. Okay. I need to finish this research. I need to start this project, whatever. These are my top three things. On Friday, I've put those down that on Monday, this is where I'm starting my work.
Hmm.
When I leave work, I've now left work because I know what's happening on Monday. I don't have to worry about work.
Less stress. I'm gonna start doing that tonight. No, 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 no,
Game
no, no.
changer.
I'm gonna start tomorrow night because what I've learned from you, and I have done this from the day I heard you say this, to because this is something big. This is a big task I'm doing. And I remember you said, no, just power down. This is a big task. And then you can reboot. So
That's right.
do, I do have my rituals that I do after I stream my podcast. So compounding this for work, I'm not going to do it tonight, but I will start tomorrow with a clean slate because I'm not streaming tomorrow.
There you go. There you go.
Tips from LaDana.
And
Yeah.
so you guys are seeing, like, I'm not giving you out of reach things. These are like small changes that you can make that are going to have a big impact on that Sunday night syndrome to make
Mm,
Monday morning something you're actually looking forward to versus, so instead of depleting yourself, you're getting a way to fill yourself up with very small changes because our brain can't take big changes. I'm so glad that that stuck with you, Ursula. I'm very pleased to hear that.
yeah.
Big changes are scary. We have to start with small steps because when we do that small change and we make it happen, that dopamine shot comes in. Now we want to do something else because it feels good, right? It's like
Mhm.
thinking you're going to clean your house. You can think about it all day long, but the minute you take up the broom to sweep, you're going to notice that the counter needs to wipe. You're going to wipe that because now you have clean floors and that
Right.
feels good. So now you want clean counters. Then you notice the windowsills because that felt good too.
Ah, okay, I see where you're going with this. I get it. I see where you're going with that. Yes. So it's getting that hit after hit
It's
after
hit.
hit.
And the smaller steps we take, the more consistently you get that hit.
Mm. I like number four. I like all of them, but number four, this one resonates the
Yes.
most with me.
Yes. You see how I have them building? Like, start with this change, start with this. And now we're going to take you back to the start of the weekend. And you're going to prepare for Monday from then, which
Right.
means that you are beginning, because we're going to number 5. When you prepare for Monday on Friday, you are already starting to flip your internal script that Monday is a new opportunity for me to get this done.
Mm. Good stuff. Good
You
stuff.
know, if you're a Monday to Friday worker, whenever your work days are, like, because a lot of our Monday blah 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 is really our mindset towards Monday.
It absolutely is.
It's what we've told ourselves Monday is. We've told ourselves that Monday is a pain.
Yeah.
And here's how our brain works. It likes to find evidence for what we tell ourselves.
Hmm.
So if I tell myself Monday is painful, it is going to go out of its way to find all the evidence for that. From the annoying
Interesting.
alarm, the annoying traffic, the frustrating, whatever. It's going to keep finding all the reasons to make this true.
Wow. That I never knew that. I just learned something.
That's why we talk about how we talk to ourselves, right? You hear a lot of talk about negative self talk because if you tell yourself that you're dumb, brain's going to find evidence for it.
That's right. I totally agree with you on that.
And if
Totally.
you tell yourself that you're smart, your brain's going to find evidence for that. If you tell yourself that you're the smartest in the world, you have a lot of high ego people walking around believing that, even if they don't know what they're doing, right?
Right.
Because their brain has given them the evidence for that.
Mm.
So that's now, this is the bigger part of the job, right? I gave you some small ones to make that feel good. That's how I was giving you the dopamine hit. I could do that. I could do that. I could do that,
Right.
right? And now you get to tell yourself, you get to change the conversation that you have with Monday.
Hmm.
You get to decide how you want to look at Monday in a way that brings you hope, in a way that is optimistic, in a way that restores instead of depletes.
Yes. And also, I like that it gives us our own self a chance to create our own narrative as opposed to having an external factor create it
Exactly.
for us.
Exactly. Exactly. And the more you say that to yourself, now I'm going to say this, for your brain to make any lasting change, you need to have a goal. That goal is going to need effort, it's going to have to be repetitive, and it has to be consistent, right?
Mm.
You need these 4 things to make lasting change happen.
Can you
Why
repeat
is
those
that?
again?
Okay, so you need to have a goal
Hmm.
that takes effort. You know, you have to actually be putting in work. Nobody likes that part. But a goal that takes effort, is repetitive, and consistent.
Mm. That's the blueprint right there.
Right there. Why is that? Because we have the power through a process called neuroplasticity to
Mhm.
change the function and the structure of our brain.
That's what Dr. Lee, she said that. Yeah, you're
We have
right.
that
Sounds
power.
familiar.
We have the power to change the structure and the function of our brain. What do I mean? Our brain is working with neural pathways. Just think about like a bunch of highways and connecting roads, right? Just think about it that way, right? If you don't want your brain to travel a particular road anymore, what would you have to do?
I'd have to think about it and change my own direction.
Correct. So think about just regular traffic. If I don't want you to travel on this road, what do I have to do? I got to put up a roadblock.
Right.
I have to create a detour,
Detour.
right? That says we're not going this way anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We're not turning right. We're not going straight, whatever the path was. We're going a different direction. Now, if you have been working, let's say I've been working since 2011 full time. So that's like, my math is going to make a joke of me now. What, 11 years? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
2022.
Mm-hmm.
So for the past 11 years, let's just use this as an example. If for the past 11 years, I have said that Mondays are the most painful day of the week, how many Mondays have that been in a year for the past 11 years? That's a very strong pathway in my brain,
Right.
which is why come Sunday at 5 o'clock, my brain knows exactly how I should respond.
We just said this earlier. That makes sense. You wow, you brought that all the way back around.
Yeah, I told you, I'm like, this, we're going to take our time. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Right?
Wow.
That's why number five is flipping your internal script. You've spent, and I when I work with clients, I use this math because I need people to recognize it's not going to happen overnight.
Mm.
You've had this narrative for the past 11 years, working 52 weeks a year. Let's say if you never took a holiday,
Wow.
that's a long time,
It is
which is why lasting change requires a goal, effort, repetition, and consistency,
consistency.
because we have to rebuild a new path.
That's the neurocycle. That makes so much sense. Hold on, let me get a selfie of that one. Definitely. Got it. What was number five again?
Flip your internal script. So you have to change the conversation that you're having with yourself about Monday. If
Hmm.
you want Monday to feel different, you have to change the way you talk about Monday.
Yes.
If you keep talking about Monday as the worst day of the week, it's going
It
to keep
will
being the
be.
worst day of the week. You have to start finding a way to, in your own narrative, maybe Monday becomes something, a new opportunity. Maybe Monday becomes a chance to do something new. Maybe Monday is another outlet. Maybe Monday is the step you're taking to get to your dream.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Monday is gratitude for work, right?
I love that. I actually was going to mention that if to add on to your list to practice gratitude.
Yes.
That is
Which is
huge.
my morning routine. That's my ritual.
Yes.
That's my morning ritual, because nothing fills me with joy.
Mm.
And it gratitude is, that's a whole other, I were to come back to even talk about gratitude like on its own. But my whole life changed around deciding to be more grateful.
Hmm. It
And
does.
I saw that change. I remember I was sharing with, I don't know if you've ever heard of the VIA character strength personality strengths test. And I had taken that test when I started my master's program. And and at the time when I did that, at the top of my strength list, I think was creativity, no, curiosity, because I just always have to understand why things work, right? And gratitude was like really low on the list. And I said to myself, that was my goal. I am going to cultivate gratitude.
Interesting. Wait, I think I've taken that test. Is that a list of like 35 or is like a long
25 characters, yeah.
20? I'm going to have to go back and I took that about 3 years ago. I'm glad
Yeah.
you mentioned that. You are really making my brain work tonight. I am going to look that up. So you said gratitude, huh?
So curiosity was at the top of my list. And at the time, I said, you know what? Gratitude was so low on my list. I could begin to see, because I was now learning about the research, Edmund's research on gratitude and how it could actually change your well being and manage your stress and really just literally shift your whole experience with the world, shift your experience with crisis. Like when the pandemic happened, that sometimes I remember I was praying to God, like, am I just being presumptuous? Like, why I'm not like melting under the pressures of this? That's like a
Mhm.
whole other conversation, because we had made a big life shift before the pandemic started. And I'm like, whoa, why would you like, everyone is like crumbling, and I'm going, why am I not crumbling? Why am I at such peace? This is so weird. Like, and everyone's like, well, why aren't you whatever? And 3 years later, when I retook that, when I was finishing up, gratitude was my number one on that list.
Really?
And that's why I'm saying to you, you have the ability to change the way you interact with your life.
That is powerful.
You just have to decide to do it. That's it. That's it. That's the call to action.
I like that. Exactly. You always got to have a call to action. This is some good stuff. Uh, and it didn't cost anything.
It didn't cost anything. Your whole life can change. If you do these 5 things next week, the week after that, you'll begin to notice those shifts. Keep that same sleep schedule, maintain that consistent sleep, that predictable period of restoration. Disconnect as often as possible, but especially on the weekend, because it creates that natural break in the weeks. Your life doesn't feel like this ongoing cycle of work, life, repeat, work, life, repeat. Create that
Right.
natural break, right? Make that an actual flag post in your life, that natural break, right? Then think about, what is a Monday morning ritual, something I can look forward to just for me.
Mm.
Just for me. What is that for you? What do you love? What makes you feel good? And if it's just on Monday, it's calorie free. That's what I would tell myself, because mine was ice cream. I'm like, it's calorie free. It's just on Mondays. I need this.
That's some good
I
stuff.
have I have since changed that ritual now. But right, but it's a good start. If it's gonna make you look forward to it, then start with it, right? Prepare for Monday from Friday. So you're not scrambling Monday morning, but you're going into the office organized, you're going onto the job with a clear idea of what you're about to do. The brain loves that. Nothing creates more anxiety than the unknown.
You know what? You're right. I heard this researcher, he did a study on people who had experienced high anxiety, and he said one of a consistent character trait that they all had is that they all like watch, the ones who watch movies, they love watching movies repeatedly because they knew what was going to happen,
Yes. Yes. The
and it
brain
reduced
loves
their
certainty.
stress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The uncertainty makes us stressed out.
Yes.
So set up your Monday by not being unclear about what to do. Start your Monday clear on the expectation. And that will help you have a better handle of the day. And then change how you talk about Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
Make Monday something to look forward to. And believe me, it will. I'm telling you, because I live that now. I live that now. I was there and I live there now, where I look forward to Monday. And yes, there are stressors in every single job that can make that challenging. But as I gave the distinction, when it comes to the work that I do, it is always a one. sometimes the things around it affect that.
But see, we have gained tools tonight that we can take throughout the week into the weekend, and it won't make the week seem so awful. So,
Yes.
anyone listening, try everything that LaDana says, including myself. I'm going to do. There's some, especially that number 4, I really love. And then let's revisit this in about a month or two, and then
Yes.
reach out to me or LaDana on Instagram. I posted her Instagram link, and let us know what do you think about it? How do you feel after that 60, 90-day
Mm-hmm.
neurocycle?
Mm-hmm. Go on, girl. Take
Okay,
you out.
I know it. Oh, LaDana, guess what?
What?
You are still a Black girl that has her shift together. Thank you so much for coming on. You
My honor.
always
My
delivering.
pleasure.
Always. I love it. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. The Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. Make sure and visit us next week. I will have Celeste the therapist on. And the week after that, I'm going to have the lovely Sarah Komodo. We'll talk about co-parenting with your high conflict ex.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes. So work on your neurocycles so that you can help with dealing with these toxic exes. But Dana, you are wonderful.
Always
So
a pleasure, Ursula.
I cannot wait until we meet up again.
Right?
Good night, everyone. Good night, LaDana.
Good night.
This for the queens, sisters manifesting their dreams. Get your cream by any means and beam with self-esteem. Beauty supreme and Buddha walk so mean. The way you fit in them jeans, you eat your cornbread and greens. Dance or a doctor, red wine or vodka. Redesign your spot and redefine your mantra. Retwist your locks and realign your chakras. Doing your squats and getting closer to God, huh? Brunching with your squad or taking a girl's trip. Adjust your crown, you God's gift to the world, sis. Celestial body, drink your water. Meditate, sun-kissed goddess, heavenly order. Levitate, tribe of Ashanti. Black girl magic, melanin popping. Whether you ratchet or lavish, whether you bougie or savage, you a gift and a treasure. You got to love a black girl getting a shift together. Black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, man. These black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting